I got a little bit carried away. Behind me, we have 1-ton axles out of a 2005 Ford Super Duty. The plan for these axles is that they are going to be going under my 3rd gen 4Runner. The last time I showed you guys these axles in a video, I gave you the sped up version of me getting them all cleaned up and disassembled. There's a ton of steps to doing a 1-ton swap or a solid axle swap in general, and it takes a ton of parts. So lucky for me, DTA Fabrication reached out to me on Instagram a couple months ago when I posted that I bought these axles. We've been talking back and forth a ton over the past few weeks. He basically sent me every single fabrication part that I'm going to need to do this project and get these axles under this truck. It's going to be a very long process, and it's going to be pretty dragged out because I have a ton of stuff going on. It costs a lot of money and a lot of time, and I'm actually in the process of moving. So I want to get one thing knocked out at a time and film every little project along the way so I can get this axle swap done before the end of the year. At least that's my timeline for now. That could change. Part of the fabrication kit that DTA sent me was the axle truss. This is a laser cut DIY axle truss kit. Basically slaps together like a puzzle. I have already roughly mocked this up on the axle and everything fit really well. So that's the goal for this video. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing mocked up on the axle, and then if I can get everything to fit exactly how I want it, I'm going to go ahead and clean this thing up and then tack everything in place. So we're going to get this axle truss kit mocked up onto my Dana 60 and get it welded on. So first things first, here is the entire truss kit. Obviously these are your main plates, front and rear. And then you have these two little pieces that hold your main plates together. They literally go together like a puzzle. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. Yep. Slides right in there like that. So easy, I did it one-handed. And then you have the remainder of the plates. So these are going to be your end caps. And then these are going to be the top plating around your differential housing. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing thrown on the axle, get everything in place, and then we'll start tacking this thing together. Just so you can see how nicely this thing was made, the gaps around the tube and the differential housing all line up absolutely perfect. When we get all of this stuff slapped together, I will tack it to the tube in a couple places. The diff is cast steel, so you need to heat this up between 300 to 500 degrees-ish, and then control the cool down so your weld doesn't crack. I don't have a temperature gun in the garage at the moment, so we will weld this section out a little bit later. On top of that, it's always smart to do some welds on the inside of the truss, so we're gonna go ahead and tack this in place after we get the top plates on, make sure everything fits nice and proper. We'll throw a few tacks down here on the tube and then on these pieces, and then we'll pull the top back off, throw a couple tacks on the inside, and then we can throw the top back on and continue welding. We got the truss on the axle. I'm gonna go ahead and break the welder out, clean up one little spot on the axle tube where I kind of went a little bit too deep with the acetylene torch. There's just a little pinhole, so I'm gonna fill that in, make sure that that's nice and cleaned up, and then I'll start tacking the truss together. We could probably fully weld out the inside, to be honest. We'll see when we get there, but the goal is to do most of the welding on the axle so nothing shifts or warps and then it doesn't fit together. We're gonna get the welder out and start getting this thing tacked together. Inside of the truss is all welded out. On the passenger side, pretty much every joint is all welded on the plates as well as to the tube. I mean, you leave all of these sections open. It's definitely a good idea to leave some gaps in here in case you get moisture inside your truss. That way it can drain out and doesn't rust. Before I weld the top plate on, I'm gonna go ahead and weld all of the outside and then get all of the inside painted, and then we'll start moving over to this side. I probably, like I said, won't do the diff until tomorrow when I can bring a heat gun home, and we'll do some welds around the cast steel as well. But yeah, bunch more welding to do. I'm gonna get back to it. My phone overheated twice and it is now 97 degrees outside, so this is miserable. I ran out of spool, so I will pick this back up tomorrow. But for day one, made some pretty good progress. We got most of the tube side done. I tacked this plate in place just to keep everything from moving as I move over. And then I had put a plate over here and tacked the bottoms in as well. So just gonna keep taking my time and working my way over to the other side. But lots of welding going down. And it's not perfect because I'm not a welder, but I think it's gonna be great. So I'll go grab some more wire tomorrow and get back to it. It is day 3 of me welding this truss on, simply because it was extremely hot the last 2 days and I ran out of welding wire. But we're almost there. I still need to weld underneath this top plate, and then we started getting this side on yesterday. So I need to weld the other side of this tube on the end cap, and then all of this stuff is all welded in and painted underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and weld all of these joints together like that, and then clean them up with a flap disc, and then get this last plate on, and then we'll be able to finish weld it. I did go and buy a little temp gun so I can start to weld the cast as well. If that's all done, this thing will be finished and we can get it kind of painted. I'll paint some of the exposed tube areas and stuff just to keep it clean while it's sitting around. But I'm not gonna paint the top or anything like that because we'll be welding all kinds of stuff to this axle still. It's a little bit nicer out today, so I'm gonna try to knock the majority of this welding out real quick. Truss is pretty much all welded on. There's one spot on the diff housing that I still need to weld on the backside, but I wanted to pause and talk a little bit more about getting this weld around the diff to weld the steel to the cast steel. I mentioned it earlier, but you basically need to heat up the cast steel between 300 to 500 degrees, which I've been doing with my little torch here, and then got a little temp gun so I can monitor temperatures. But I wanted to stop and show you guys the perfect example of why you need to do that. I got a little bit carried away and didn't continue to monitor the cool down on a couple of the welds, and they fully cracked out. So I was just going to show you guys that. I have some welds that held in there really nicely, and then a couple welds that cracked, so I'll show you guys the difference. So this is a good example of a weld that held. There's no cracks in there. Everything laid in there perfectly. And then over here, I kind of walked away in the middle of the cool down, and you can see that weld cracked all the way down around the housing. So I'm going to clean this up as much as I can, reheat everything, and then kind of lay a really big weld over all of this. Now, it's not exactly structural, and this thing's welded all the way across, so it really shouldn't be an issue. But seeing as that I have nothing but time on my hands, and this isn't going under the truck for a while, I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to fix this and make sure it's not cracked. So yeah, just wanted to stop and show you guys that. That is exactly what happens when you do not control the cool down temperatures between the normal steel and cast steel. This stuff holds heat for way longer. It takes a long time for it to cool down. So what I've been doing is heating up the cast to about 350, running my weld through here. Take your temp gun, you check the cast steel temp, and then you check the temp down here, and you just keep adding heat into the normal steel to kind of match up your temperatures. And then you pretty much just monitor it until you get under 200 degrees. I've been kind of taking it down to about 180, which is what I did over here, and then that seemed to do the trick. And once it was about 180, I could kind of stop paying attention to it. I saw most people doing this would monitor the temp to below 200 degrees and then wrap it with like a welding blanket. I don't have a welding blanket, so I'm just gonna keep rolling the dice and monitoring the temps until hopefully they don't crack. I'm gonna get this thing finished up, so we're gonna get back to it. All right, we got the cracked welds repaired. So those are all good. They're still cooling down a little bit, so I'm still kind of monitoring the temperatures on them. Cast is at about 209, and the metal is already cooled down significantly. So that's when you come back in here. Check it again. Now we're about 218. So, and that's pretty much it. And then moving forward, I'm gonna take the flap disc, clean up all of these welds where all the joints are, and just make this thing nice and pretty. Axle truss is officially welded on. I've been working on this thing off and on for about 3 or 4 days, and I would say overall it's probably a solid 3 hours straight of welding. I am extremely stoked though to have the truss on the axle. I think it looks really good. It was super easy to put together, time consuming to weld, but I think that would be the case with any truss that you get. Tons of projects left to do before I can even think about getting the solid axle swap started on the 3rd gen. I'm just trying to knock one little thing off at a time, and this was a big piece of the puzzle that is checked off the list. And once again, shout out to DTA Fabrication. Definitely go and hit them up. He makes amazing stuff. Even sent me a sick shirt, so wearing that today while we work in the garage. That's all I got. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.